What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to a new video on the channel. Welcome to a video where I kind of want to discuss and go and look a little bit into detail on what they've shown so far with the new Assetto Corsa EVO. So Assetto Corsa EVO is a game that's coming out very, very soon. I think it's in about 15 days, actually. But what they're doing with the game is they're going to trickle feed us kind of content for it. So they're not going to release the full game initially. They're going to release it and then improve it over time. And apparently the full game is going to be out around fall 2025. So later on in next year. As I'm uploading this video, it's the 31st of December. So happy New Year to everybody that's watching the video right now. I hope you guys are going to have a good time. But yeah, 2025, obviously from tomorrow on. But, you know, autumn season from next year, I guess, is when we should have the full version of this game. Now, like I said, they released a new video, which I want to talk about and I want to go through. They've shown a bunch of stuff in detail, such as, you know, some cars and stuff like that, and a bunch of driving. They even showed off some of the car brands that we have available from the very beginning of the game. Abarth, Alfa Romeo, Alpine, Audi, BMW, Cadillac, and so forth. You can see them up on the screen as well. Plus a bunch of different tracks that they're going to release. I think there's only 5 or 6 tracks that they said that they're going to release. If I go and I display, I think he's going to say anyway.
5 circuits across 4 countries.
Yeah, 5 circuits.
Laguna Seca, America, Brands Hatch and Imola, Europe, Mont Panorama, Australia, and Suzuka from Japan.
So those are the tracks that we'll have available from launch, which is pretty decent, if you ask me. We also see a little bit of a you know, the weather that's able to be, you know, changed and affected and stuff like that in game. You'll be able to see a little bit of rain. You can see the rain buildup as well on the cars, and the way things are reflected, especially with the rain and everything like that. So you can see it right in here. So again, what they're going to end up doing with this game, like I said, is very slowly release it. Now, this is a game that obviously is now in production, and of course they're going to do a bunch of stuff to it. But what they've done is they've obviously tried to improve the graphics, because with the original Assetto Corsa, we obviously know when we have I've seen gameplays. Obviously, we've had gameplays in the past of the original Assetto Corsa. I've even uploaded it on the channel a bunch of times. But the game is ancient. It looks so old if you don't play it with mods. And this is the thing as well with the Assetto Corsa glazers, because I know that there's going to be so many of them and so many people. Everywhere I see it, Assetto Corsa looks better than this game. It literally doesn't. It is a game that is modded to all hell. Only then the game actually looks modern. And it looks like it can take on stuff like, you know, Forza Motorsport or Gran Turismo. If it's game for game, Assetto Corsa just isn't there. It doesn't have that much content, and it doesn't have the looks as well to keep up. Even Assetto Corsa Competizione, or a competition, whatever it's called, it's not really that great. So with this one, this is like a new step up from them, which obviously they want to kind of try and rival, you know, the competition and see what that's like. It doesn't look bad. You can see a little bit of the detail, obviously, that they're showing in the in-game footage. Obviously, they're going to talk a little bit about, you know, the way the tire model works and the suspension model and all that sort of stuff. But just visually, it doesn't look terrible, but it also doesn't look amazing. Like, I can't just be here like, you know, this game is a piece of work or a work of art or whatever. It doesn't look amazing. It does look very, very good. But I just still feel like there's something about it. I just, like, there's no, like, reflections here. Obviously, you can see the way the car looks like here in the rear world, and then you go into the game. It's not bad looking, right? Like, it's not, I'm not here, like, being, like this is, like, a bad looking car. But then you go into the real life car, and you kind of see the difference in detail. So, it is there, and it does look good, but it's not really like one-to-one, if that makes sense. In terms of like the lighting just looks a little bit weird in some terms. Regardless, there's still a long ways to go until this game is fully released and fully out. So I'm expecting this game to kind of do better and better the more time it's in development. I feel like reflections are going to be a big thing. I feel like it just looks a little bit flat in most areas. As you can see, like the paints, like you can kind of see some reflections here and there, but it just looks like there's not really a lot of shine on cars. They look a little bit too matte. Regardless, I'm nitpicking here, but it actually still looks very, very good. A lot better than what the old game looked like, I'll tell you that now. You can see all the little imperfections in the track and everything like that. I think he says it in the video as well that there's a lot of changes when it comes to, you know, I'm talking visually here, when it comes to the tracks and stuff like that, there's going to be build up of rubber and stuff like that, and it'll change the way, not only just the way the track looks, but it also change the way the track, feels like when you drive on it in terms of grip. Like, it's just rubber buildup from tires and stuff like that, or just anything, right? Like, obviously weather affects it as well by, having water on the track and there's puddles in specific areas. So that's a perfectly fine thing. That just makes it more simulated and a lot better to be messing around with cars on tracks. So again, very much looking forward to seeing what that's like. However, I've already spotted a few details. Obviously, they're talking about, like this guy's talking about here, about the changes in suspension, where you'll be able to see
the feeling behind the steering wheel. EVO performs an improved suspension damping and bump stop simulation, thanks to a new method for simulating how race car suspensions absorb bumps and shocks. We fine-tuned the tire model to better match real-world data and feedback from drivers.
So there you go. He said it. He explained it perfectly. However, I've already spotted a lot of inconsistencies with what he's saying. So they've obviously made it so the suspension is a lot more accurate, but they haven't done it so the track is very accurate. And watch this, right? If I pause the video here, you can see the way he's driving over the bumps, right? And he goes over onto the grass a little bit here. Goes back onto the track again. If I pause this at the right time, this whole front end of this car, the whole front end of the Escort dips into the floor. Like, this whole front bumper here with the lower bumper part, it's already like inside of the ground here. Not the best of looks for the game. I feel like we definitely need to have some sort of a repercussion there. Like, maybe the car is not gripping up properly or something like that. Maybe smacking it off the ground like that doesn't work too well. Also, these little ridges that you have in the apex, or whatever you want to call this thing, the rumble strip that we have along the side, these kind of just don't do anything to the M2. So if I go here and you can see it going in slow motion, it kind of just, the tire model just doesn't actually bounce on top of them as it should normally. It just kind of phases through it, as you can see. So there's still a lot to do with this game to make it obviously accurate. If they're trying to do it so it's very, very accurate in terms of, the tire feel and the bumps and everything that they're trying to simulate, I feel like there's still a lot of work to do. But, like I said, overall the game looks very, very good. Definitely a lot more up to date than what the original Assetto Corsa is like. Simulated weather as well. Also, if you want to watch this video without me commentating over it and without me reviewing it, you can feel free to do so. I'll leave a link down to this video down in the description box below, so you guys can check it out without me talking over it. And obviously, you guys can hear to one of the devs talk about it as well. So as you can see, even water buildup on the track looks so much better than what it used to before. Before, I'm pretty sure, especially with mods, you were able to make this thing look so shiny. I remember there's like no hezzy videos that I see online, and I see them trying to do as many graphical updates as possible, or whatever, mods as possible, and the game just looks rubbery. It just looks like it's made out of, like, entirely out of plastic, because everything's incredibly reflective. This is how water should look like on the track. This is it right here. They've done this so well compared to what the mods have been doing. We're making this thing so reflective where you can literally see the sky 100% in it, or like you can see the fence 100% in the water. It's not a lake, right? It's still ground with a little bit of water on it, but obviously, the mods are completely different. This is where he said that the rubber on the track actually changes the grip levels and stuff like that, plus the water as well. And you can see now a little bit of reflection in the water in the clouds. Obviously, the puddles that are much bigger makes a lot of sense. You'll be able to see a lot more reflections, but apart from that, there's a little bit of light. I want to look at some of the details there. A little bit of light reflected in it is fine, but not the entire sky. You know what I mean? In the entire track. But again, like I said, the mods and stuff like that, I've made this game look really, really impressive. Or not this game, but Assetto Corsa in general, and made it look really, really impressive. But it's nice to see this game kind of step it up a little bit. Details look good. Details look really, really good. It's on Michelin's as well. Pretty sure these are, I can't even tell what they are, to be honest with you. Polysport something, it says. Like, there's detail at the tires to the point where it says exactly the tire that it's on, which is very, very good. looks nice. A little bit of Audi RS3 stuff. You can see the detail in the lights. Still not as good as like Gran Turismo, for example, but massive improvement from what it was before. Little M4 CSL action here. You can see the weave and the carbon fiber. Looks good. It looks good. A little flat, but it looks good. And then, obviously, what they did say is not only are we going to have the tracks, but we're also going to have the surrounding area of the Nürburgring, which I'm actually so excited about.
That surrounds the legendary complex, the Nürburgring.
Yeah.
The open world map will be released by summer 25 during the Assetto Corsa EVO early access period.
So, we're not actually getting the open world until summer 25, unfortunately, but it is very cool. If there was a way to somehow manage to incorporate the entire track as well in it, that would be perfect. Because then you'd be able to like hop on, you're driving around and you're driving to the track, and then you do a lap of the track, for example, and then you come back off again.
It will be released in stages, allowing continuous updates and new content.
But this looks good. Assetto Corsa open world would be amazing. It'd be so nice. Everybody would absolutely adore it.
The area has been faithfully reproduced using a...
Okay. So they're just talking about how they've done it. So basically, you know, aerial photos, just photos on the ground as well. And, you know, basically scanned buildings and roundabouts and trees and everything. And it's been added on. So it's very, very detailed and it looks very, very good. I'm pretty excited about this. Again, an open world Assetto Corsa would be absolutely unbelievable. Also, one of the coolest things is with all of these places around the track, because there's so many different tuners and aftermarket, you know, manufacturers and stuff like that around the track, you can actually change parts, or you can buy parts. I think he says it in the video.
Areas and details are reproduced using drone scans and photogrammetry. The open world area will also ensure an important level of interaction with players, who will have the opportunity to interact with the local businesses, rent cars, and upgrade their vehicles with aftermarket parts thanks to the numerous workshops and centers actually available in the area.
How sick is that? You go into the open world area and you upgrade your car parts because you're in the open world area. That is one of the coolest things ever. What a sick way to implement it in the game, right? Instead of just being out in the main menu and then changing settings and changing parts and stuff like that, you can drive around in free roam and go to the places that you want to do it. Like, this is a track racing game. Like, this is not an open world racing game that they're making here, but they have this open world aspect to it, which makes it look so, like, it's just appealing to draw. Like, I want a full open world Assetto Corsa. It would be just amazing to experience it. So again, the details are there. The game looks a billion times nicer than the original Assetto Corsa and Assetto Corsa Competizione. So I'm expecting some big things from this game, especially with the way that they're releasing content. Like I said, if they're releasing it over the next while, if it's just through this year and over into next year as well, it'll be nice to see what else they can try and introduce into the game. Most likely this is going to have a ton of content being released in terms of like car packs and stuff like that. So also here's a little kind of view of what the normal kind of like lobby seems like it looks like. So you have your exterior, interior, and wheels that you can change. Here you can have your standard configuration, your standard trim, car controls and scene options. So this is where you can customize your vehicle, as you can see at the top of the screen. So this is like one of the areas where you can do it at. So it's a very nice place. Again, open world is probably what I'm looking forward to the most. But I'm also looking forward to trying out a bit more driving on track, because I miss it, especially doing it with a wheel. A little bit of driving on track, it would be amazing. I really do hope that they do a really good job with controller integration, right, on this game. I definitely do think that Assetto Corsa as a simulator is going to be, wheel focused or wheel based, which is perfectly fine. I'm all up for, the full playing on a wheel and everything like that. Up for that 100%. But if they want to kind of bring a whole new set of people to play this game, I feel like if they could kind of make it so driving on controller in this game would be more simplified and obviously a little bit more arcadey, it'll bring just a whole new audience of people. No, I don't mean as in like, just scrap the whole, being a simulator and all this sort of stuff. I just mean like having people that play on controller or people that just want to try this game out. Maybe they want to try it on a keyboard and mouse. They don't have the money to buy it. a full setup or a wheel or anything like that. Maybe they just want to try it out, you know, on another device basically, instead of that. I feel like it'd be nice if they kind of introduce that, because I remember in the original Assetto Corsa we didn't really have a lot of usability with a controller. It was never really that great. I even made videos in the past where I tried to perfect the way the controller works on this game. It's not great, but I kind of made it work a little bit. But however, I really do wish that they do something like that for people that want to play on a controller, because like I said, it's still a massive audience of people that I think that they could go ahead and kind of bring into this game for them to play. Does that make sense? So they're probably going to have like a campaign mode or career mode or whatever, where you get to drive around different cars and stuff like that. So I feel like something like that would be very, very nice to kind of bring those type of people in. Regardless, the game looks good. It's still a very, very early access. I mean, it's not even released yet, the game. So in January, it's going to be released and we're going to have very early access to it, like I said, if you buy it. So it's going to be content trickle down over the next year or so. So hopefully we'll see what they end up doing with this thing. It looks very good. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I'm down to read it all and see what you guys think. Thank you for watching, everybody. Grazie to everybody. And yeah, again, Happy New Year. And hopefully I'll see you guys very soon with another video. Goodbye, everyone.